And it looked so good at 2-0, didn't it, when Havertz got his goal?
Yeah, it did. And to be honest, the way they were playing, it was comfortable, but you always know that in the back of your mind, you do feel that Villa and the way they're playing, especially with that mid-block and the pace they've got up front, then they're going to have a chance of scoring. So, it was up to us to be a little bit more calm about the way we were doing, bring them onto us a little bit more, try and break through. But it didn't happen. Villa are a quality side in that respect. You have to see him off, Steve. You have to see him off.
But when Kai Havertz got this goal, the whole stadium was up. Everyone seemed a little bit more settled.
Yeah.
However, in fact, the year they were chasing for the title, they had a problem with 2-0s, didn't they? And that's ultimately what cost them.
Yeah, it did. And you know what as well, Steve? Once the goal, brilliant. It's a great play from Trossard, who was brilliant. Oh, I thought he was fantastic today. Brilliant cross. And then Kai, you get in there, you get in front of the defender, you get it on target. That's what he's done brilliantly here. But I love what Trossard's doing here on the outside, not waiting for anyone. You notice Miles Lewis-Skelly doesn't try and get round him. He's just left him on his own to have a go at him, and then brilliant from Kai to get in front of him. And at that point, you're thinking to yourself, brilliant. Now we could stay calm, no panic. Let's keep the ball, move it around, let Villa have to come out, and then if we could pick them off, then you pick them off. But again, it didn't happen like that.
No, and the issue was, Tim, that they let 2-0 for less than 5 minutes. It was an instant response from Villa.
Absolutely, that's key. You try and manage the game, just get in possession. You ain't got to score again, you're 2-0 up. Just try and take the heat out of it. But that's a wonderful ball from Digne, and Tielemans comes in and a diving header. We think it's possibly Moreno comes in and gets his toe on it, and whether it hits Tielemans' head after that, but it's a good, brave diving header. But it's all about the cross. Great delivery. Defending's not good enough. It's not good enough. You have to just be solid. It's all right in hindsight. You say, if Saliba was there, would have made a difference. We can ask all them questions. In fact, he wasn't there, so they have to cope. Other teams have to cope when they're losing big players. Arsenal have to find a way of coping. All teams do. If you want to win the Premier League, you can't worry about what you haven't got. You've got to worry about what you've got and making the best of it and trying to get maximum points. And that was the key moment. They struck back too early. If they would have killed the game for 10, 15 minutes, it didn't happen. And it felt like, we said it we was watching the game. We felt if they score Villa, it could be very difficult for Arsenal.
The more you watch it and you think to yourself, can we keep the ball? Can we play? Even when Villa, when they were in that position to get the ball out to Digne, you just felt like we were a little bit off it. And for Tielemans to be able to run off of Moreno and get on the inside of him like that was, it's not good enough. That's poor defending. Should never let him get that side. If he gets in front of you, you could see him, you can maybe go and block him, you can stop him. But for him to get on the inside of him there, to the point where he's now stretching, it's poor defending. Brilliant from Tielemans' point of view, getting in there, causing the problem. But if you watch that from outside the box, it should have been dealt with ages ago, that run, and it wasn't. And you get punished. You get punished. Villa weren't great today, but in certain aspects of the game, they were absolutely brilliant.
You said to me many times, better to be a lucky manager than a good one. Unai Emery was about to take Ollie Watkins off. John Duran had his tracksuit top off. The number was prepared.
Yeah.
The piece of paper was into the fourth official, and then this happened.
And then this happens, Wright, he would never have been in this position because they never ever brought him off. But Ollie was coming off. Wonderful cross to the back post, but it's poor defending. I cannot tell you how bad this is from Thomas Partey here. He has him there. He's got him in a good position. Now he hasn't. He steps up. The rest of the defence drop. He needs to drop with the line. Just manage it. Head the ball. And Ollie just keeps his eye on it. And he cannot believe that misses Kai Havertz's head, and he just gets a volley on it. He's so close. Raya has no chance, goes above his head. As you said, it's Unai Emery. It was one for him there. He got lucky on that one because who's to say John Duran wouldn't have done that anyway. Ollie Watkins will score goals. If you leave him on the pitch, you give him the service, he will score like Duran does when he comes off the bench.
I do feel for Thomas Partey there, though. He's a right back. He's playing right back. He's a midfield player. Again, it comes down to the squad and the thinness of the squad. And he's been put in a position where I think Trossard, can he get closer to that cross? You could see the poor movement from Thomas Partey. He's not used to that movement. Yeah. Once he's come back in, there's no way he should be leaving him to go off the back of his shoulder like that. He's got to stay with him. Yeah. He cannot have that much time and space. And again, I thought that Arsenal were very dominant with the ball and played very well. Villa had their moments. And there are two moments there what cost us, really cost us, because they punished us. They were ruthless with them.
They're chasing one team, which is Liverpool. And I put myself, and I look at them 2 goals there, and Marino for the first one, Thomas Partey for the second one. And I look at how Liverpool would have dealt with that. And all I see is Gravenberch. Gravenberch does the ugly side of the game. He's responsible. He sees it. He defends. He helps out his defenders. I think these Arsenal players play for themselves too much to say, well, that's my job. I'm a midfield player. I feel for Thomas because he's not a right back. They're asking him to do a job because it needs must at the moment because of the injury problems they have. But you need to be diligent. You need to do your job. You need to be responsible for your team. Unfortunately, the 2 central midfield players, one playing right back today in Thomas Partey, have cost them today because they haven't been willing to put their bodies on the line and do their jobs properly. They're just intent of just waiting to get the ball forward and then they want to join in. We can all want to join in and play and go forward and create chances and score goals. Sometimes you have to put tackles in. You have to get your goal side. You have to head the ball out of the box. They're not doing that well enough. Whereas Gravenberch for Liverpool is doing all that and more.
OK, let's hear from the man who did punish Arsenal with that second goal. Killer goal in the end, Ollie Watkins.
Get a third, I think. It's massive to go 2-0 down at the Emirates. Is tough to come back from behind, and obviously we did that. We rescued a point, so it's positive.
You were about to come off, and then you scored.
Oh really? I didn't realise.
You didn't know that?
No, I didn't realise that. To be fair, I was disappointed that I did come off. Obviously, I want to play as many minutes as possible. I felt like I was having a good game, so it was. Yeah, obviously the manager's decision, do whatever I can to help the team, but obviously I want to play as many minutes as possible.
What a finish. Talk me through it.
To be fair, I was in 2 minds, kind of. I didn't know whether to take a touch and then finish or hit it first time, and so many things were going through my mind at that moment, but I just thought, just to make contact with it, hit the target, and it was nice to see it go in.
Yeah, John Duran was stood there about to come on just before you did score, and then obviously Unai told him to sit back down and put his jacket on. But what does that competition do for you, and how much does it motivate you? Do you like the competition?
Yeah, I think, it's good to have competition. It's never nice to be comfortable, and it's always good to be kept on your toes. So you can see what John can do. He's an unbelievable young player with so much talent. You've seen some of the goals he's scored this year, so it speaks for itself. But I think you need healthy competition.
Big squad.
Aston Villa 2 points off the top 4 as things stand. Is that very much the focus now for the rest of the season?
Yeah, I think, just take it game by game, see what happens. We had a bit of a sticky patch. We came out from that, and we started to pick up some points, and now the league table looks quite tight. So, we're just focusing on the next game. We got the Champions League game now on Tuesday, so recover and get ready for that, and then go again.
Brilliant, thanks Ollie. Good luck midweek.
Cheers, thank you.
A big smile from the boyhood Arsenal fan. Not too many smiles on the current.
Even imagine the crowd arriving here, blimey, no Saliba. But I guess that kind of feeling sorry for yourselves doesn't get you 3 points.
No, and what is given is a lot is the fact that we just face it and we go again. That's the way we have to do it.
So what sort of game do you expect, Mikel?
Well, depending on their approach, really, because they have various approaches. With the ball is a team that obviously wants to play, wants to be dominant. They have a lot of quality. They have good patterns, and defensively they have different kind of behaviors. Sometimes more aggressive, sometimes much more passive and zonal, and depends on our behavior as well.
So do you have to be ready in the early part of the match to adjust, depending on what you see from them?
Yeah, because as well they pick different kind of wide players, and then they can overload inside, which is what they like to do as well.
Okay, good luck.
Thank you.
Well, Unai, your team were absolutely superb in winning here last season. Can that performance help you today, maybe in how confident and comfortable your players feel, and maybe in the tactical aspect as well?
Good afternoon. It's a new history. Of course, our experiences can help us, but it's different moment, different how they are, different how we are as well, and always it's very difficult the way. And of course, here in Arsenal is more difficult, but our idea is try to compete with our best collectively, individually, respecting them, and trying to adapt of them, and then play with our personality. and of course enjoy this way, enjoy playing here, enjoy how we are as well in the table, more or less with the opportunity again to be close to the top 7, top 8 position, and it's a really great challenge here, but we are happy playing here.
He'd dearly love to win back at the Emirates, just as he did last season as well. But over the last 11 Premier League matches, no one has more points than Arsenal. They're in good shape, but you heard Mikel Arteta explaining Saliba's absence there. I know you've got other defenders, but we talked about this partnership so often, haven't we, with Gabriel?
Yeah, it's been the bedrock of Arsenal and all the success they've had in how good they've been defensively. And obviously, you look at the team and it's quite dishevelled apart from Gabriel. So there's going to be a lot of pressure put on them. You'd expect that from Villa, but Villa are very passive. Villa won't go and press them. Villa will, like what they done last time. What worked so effectively for them is like they go into that mid block and let Arsenal try and break through them, and they might pick us off. But I think that they should go into the game, Arsenal, knowing that they've created chances, and they're just going to have to take those chances. We've got to be positive. I can't worry about Liverpool now. What they've done their job. The main thing for Arsenal is not to lose this game and make sure that you kind of put on a good enough show to make people realise that you're serious contenders.
And we watched Villa ruin David Moyes' homecoming in the week, but prior to that, they'd lost 5 in a row away from home. They haven't been the same side away from home as they have been at Villa Park.
They haven't been great, but I said at the beginning of the season it was impossible for them to emulate what they did last year. It was incredible for them to finish in the Champions League spots, and they're enjoying that run. But it was going to take its toll. You know, a lot of extra games. Squad's not fantastically strong,
but yet win this.
But they win.
And they're level on points with fourth.
They've done a brilliant job. He's a top drawer manager, and. No, but he would say he's at another club now. He's not thinking about Arsenal. I'm telling you, he's thinking about Arsenal. He weren't happy that he got released from Arsenal Football Club. He put a massive dent in Arsenal's charge last season, beat him home and away. Huge amount of pressure on Arsenal. I think now he will want to win this game more than anything. It's a massive dent for Arsenal. Watching that Liverpool game, not taking the points. Any points there, because it looked like a draw until the last few minutes. It would be a huge dent to the morale of Arsenal. But they've got to get on with it. Right, he's absolutely right. But not only the players, the crowd will come and they'll be down. They'll be thinking, wow, we were nearly close and we could have clawed back. But they got to get on their own job. Can't think about that now. But this place would have been absolutely jumping if Liverpool would have drawn that game at Brentford.
No, the thing with that is that you can't, I think from Arsenal's point of view, they can't be looking at what Liverpool's got to do now because, like I say, I thought the Tottenham game the other day was quite dominant in the way they played and chances they could have taken earlier on in that game, made it more comfortable. Villa will be, like I said, a different proposition, but I think they should go into the game. Obviously, there's the defence is probably weaker without the players that we normally have in there, but at the same time, Steve, this is a team that's still in touch. It's still in touch. You're at home against obviously a very difficult team in Villa, but you've got to go out there and you've got to give the crowd something, Steve, so as they can back you, and then you can get off the momentum of that.
And I guess the ideal scenario is give them an early goal because everybody's talking about all these chances created. What was it, 63 in the last 3 games?
Yeah.
3 goals scored. I mean, it's getting rammed down their throats, this.
Well, it is. And people saying about the striker, but of course, when you're making that many chances and you're not scoring, of course the fans, the players, you do feel a little bit insecure about, are we going to be able to finish this game? It felt like it was happening against Spurs. What's got to happen today is they've got to play with the same energy, same gusto, make those chances, take those chances and go from there.
And Villa are coming up against the best defence in the league. I know Saliba's not there, but they don't give you much, Arsenal, particularly at the Emirates.
No, he's obviously a huge miss, but I think he's not been fantastic this year, Saliba. I think Gabriel's been the top stand-up centre-back. I think he's had a few wobbles in recent months, but you still have him. I still think he's top draw. For me, if I'm Unai Emery, I'm telling them in their dressing room that all the pressure is on them. They need to win. I think they cannot lose any. I said the other night after the derby that they can probably lose 2 games now between now and the end.
Business once more on the back of that very important equaliser. 1-1. So deflection, and it will be a throw-in. Well, what can they do to stop him running at them? Romeo Lavia. And there it is, the half-time whistle. So the beginning of the second half here at Stamford Bridge. Possession one. Mudryk. Being egged on by the crowd. And a goal to re-establish their advantage. Just look at the celebrations. Palmer.